What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing, and I just finished up watching Chris Eubank Jr. versus Liam Williams, and this was a 12-rounder in the middleweight division, and this fight was Saturday, February 5th, from the Motorpoint Arena in Cardiff, Wales, and this fight was broadcasted on Sky Sports, and in this fight, Chris Eubank Jr. was able to get a unanimous decision victory over Liam Williams. I personally scored this bout 114 to 110 in favor of Chris Eubank Jr. The three judges scored this bout 116 to 108, 116 to 109, and 117 to 108, all in favor of Chris Eubank Jr. So personally, I think those scorecards were a little bit too close, but yet again, there was 4 knockdowns, which could have definitely swayed the judges. So, yeah, this fight was very crazy, and comment down below how you scored it. I mean, there was 4 knockdowns, but Liam Williams still was able to make the fight very competitive and fun and close. So, just to start off with all the knockdown rounds, in round number 1, Liam Williams got dropped with a left jab coming in the corner, just a flash knockdown. And then in round number 2, Williams also got knocked down, but it was with a right hook, or should I say an overhand right, then a left hook on the temple that dropped Liam Williams for the second time. Then again, in round number 4, Liam Williams got dropped, and it was with the same shot and that he got dropped with in round number 1. It was a perfectly placed counter jab on like a flash knockdown right in the chin. Williams got back up, but he was still shaking, definitely from that jab in round 1, because that jab, it wasn't like the round 4 jab where it just brushed off him and he went down. The first knockdown in round 1 was a perfectly placed jab that really just morphed the face of Williams, if you look at it in slow motion, right to the jaw. And, yeah, I mean, he looked very shaken for the first 4, maybe 5 rounds. But then after that, Williams looked very, very strong, and he won every round on my scorecard except round 11, which is where he did get supposedly knocked down, even though after review in slow motion it was not a knockdown. But I'll get more into that later. So after the 5th round, the 5th round was definitely a round you could have given to Williams, in my opinion, but I sort of swayed it in favor of Eubank. But after the 5th round on my scorecard, I gave every round to Liam Williams. It looked like Chris Eubank Jr. was a bit tired. He was slowing down, just sort of running around the ring as opposed to boxing. Like in those first 5 rounds, he was boxing and throwing punches. He wasn't just moving around the ring and just throwing jabs as his only sort of offense. But in those first 5 rounds, he looked amazing. And, it really looked like he could have beat everyone in the middleweight division. But he did not continue with that style throughout the fight. So, yeah, after the 5th round, he was obviously slower on his feet, but he was still moving around a lot, but only really throwing jabs and trying to land a singular uppercut to drop Williams as he came in, but those uppercuts never landed really. Like, maybe only one of them landed and didn't really do too much damage to Williams. But yeah, yet again, after those 5 rounds, I gave every round except round 11 to Williams. Williams was just coming forward and outworking Eubank Jr. So I had like 6 rounds to 6, which correlates to a draw. But because of the 4 knockdowns, obviously, that's so many points in favor of Eubank. But to talk about that knockdown or supposed knockdown around number 11, Williams sort of got pushed back with a left jab to like the chest, it looked like. I don't know, because Liam Williams was on an awkward angle while he was going in. It was sort of a left hand, but then a right hand that sort of pushed Williams back, and live it really looked like a right hand sort of to the ear area, but it really wasn't. It was sort of just above maybe the neck, shoulder, really the shoulder area, not even the neck, the shoulder area that did put Williams down, but it looked like, his feet could have got tangled. It was really that push with that right hand. So, it was definitely not a knockdown 100%. But then, the judges scored this bout wide in favor of Eubank. Definitely those knockdowns swayed their opinion. But, Liam Williams battled back good. He made this fight fun, competitive, and it was a really nice fight. So, with that being said, what is next for Chris Eubank Jr.? Getting a win over a top 10 middleweight contender. I would like to see him face, being that he's number 1 ranked in the WBA in the middleweight division, I would like to see him fight the regular WBA champion Erislandy Lara, or fight the WBA super champion Ryota Murata. I know Murata might fight Triple G. Lara, I have no clue. But still, I would like to see him in a good fight, possibly a title fight, or even against another fighter who's also in the top 10 in the middleweight division, and this was overall a decent performance, scoring 4 knockdowns. I mean, early on, he looked tremendous. If he was able to do that and get like a 120, like 103 decision, something like that, like something crazy, or 120, 104 decision, I mean, that would have been outstanding. But, I mean, he sort of looked lackluster as the fight went on, but it was a good performance. Even like I said, decent before. I mean, he did get 4 knockdowns over Liam Williams and got a very nice victory. So that's overall a good performance. And yeah, with that being said as well, what's next for Liam Williams? Losing here for the 4th time in his career. Second loss really to a top 10 fighter in the middleweight division. He also has 2 losses to Liam Smith, who's top 10 at super welterweight. So he's really only lost to top guys, being Liam Smith, Eubank now, and Andrade. But still, I would like to see him fight someone also in like the top 15 region of the middleweight division, somewhere around there, possibly getting a lower level victory, like against an unknown fighter, or maybe even a fighter like Andrew Robinson, who he knocked out in 1 round before getting a fight against Andrade. Someone like that, like just a tune-up fight before getting a big fight against someone in the top 15 in the middleweight division. So overall, Chris Eubank Jr. scores 4 knockdowns and ultimately defeats Liam Williams by unanimous decision in what I thought was a very competitive and very fun and close fight. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.